What's going on, everybody? Today I'm bringing you a very valuable lesson. Listen, the key of G. The key of G is an essential key that you must know. Listen, it's probably the second most popular right behind the key of C. The key of G, you got to know it. And as you learn, as we develop and understand it through this lesson that we have today, it's going to help you master guitar. It's going to help you become to be a master of music, not just guitar, but you're going to be able to play along with other people and use that language that's associated. We're going to learn the number system. We're going to learn some chords. We're going to learn the major scale. We're going to learn the minor pentatonic scale. I hope y'all ready to learn today. Listen, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button for me. If you like this content and you dig it and you want to see more of it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure that notification bell is turned on. Okay, make sure it's highlighted white and then got that strike through it. All right, let's see. Where do we start? Y'all know how we get down. We're gonna start at a beginner level, and then we're gonna work our way up. By the time we get through with this lesson, it's gonna be a little intermediate advance. Okay, so stick with me. If you haven't already, go ahead and grab your guitar, tune up, pause the video. Always remember, you can fast forward, you can rewind, you can pause, whatever you need to do. All right, take your time. I'm gonna add this video to another playlist. All right, another playlist that contains all the keys we done covered so far. For some of you who've been with me, you know I already did the key of G, but the sound was messed up. So this is a redo for some people. Let's get a refresher. Okay, the key of G. Y'all know how we like to do. We like to start on one string. So since we're gonna start on one string, we're gonna learn on the heavy E string. I got some new in-ear monitors, y'all, and they make me feel a little bit free. I feel a little bit free. I'm thinking about getting some wireless ones next, but one step at a time. Anyway, key of G. Okay, so the key of G tells us what key it is. All right, it was defined by G, so we need to find our G note and establish it as number one. The number one chord is the main chord, the priority chord here, which is G. Okay, our G note is right here on the 3rd fret. All right, so let's learn the major scale on this E string here. So we got G, A, B, half a step between our 3 and our 4, C, D, E, F, G. Once again, there's G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. Excuse me, I said F before, didn't I? F sharp, G. All right. And just I want you to pay attention to the pattern that we have here. All right. So we got our 1, which is our root. That's the G. Our 2 is an A. Our 3, we're not counting fret numbers. We're counting the numbers based off the degrees of the major scale. And listen, between the 3 and the 4, it's just a half step, not a whole step. From our 1 to our 2 is a whole. From our 2 to our 3 is a whole. But and this applies to any key, all right? Between the 3, the 3rd chord, and the 4th is a half step, okay? Whole step up to D, whole step to E, whole step to F sharp. And now listen, from 7 back to 1 is a half step. 7 to 1 is a half step. All right. So we got our 1 is G, 2 is A, 3 is B, 4 is C, 5 is D, our 6 is E, and then our 7 is F sharp, and 8 or back to 1 again. Okay. All right, let's put some chords with it. We're going to use this shape right here. We're going to use a bar chord shape. I don't want y'all to be afraid of bar chords. We need to learn bar chords. Of course, you can use your open chords. I'm not saying you can't use them. You can use those. You can use those, okay? But let's learn a bar chord. I want to teach you on bar chords so you're not limited and you can play the whole fretboard and know exactly where you are. It seems like maybe I do need to go wireless because this wire. Okay, we got it together now. I think let me make sure that I think we got it together now. So what we need to do here, we need to bar from our root down. Our root is G, and bar from it down. All right, and we're gonna put ring finger on the G string of the 4th fret. I said ring finger, middle finger, ring finger on the A string of the 5th fret, and pinky right beneath there on the D string. Okay, that's a G major chord, and that is a G major. And that is a major shape. Y'all hit it? Oh, that's so pretty. Ooh, that's so pretty. All right, now our next chord, our 2 chord, all right, is this A, but it's got to be a minor. The 2 is always minor. So what all we got to do to make that minor is just raise that middle finger. But watch how you raise that middle finger. That's an A minor. That's a B minor. Whole step up, remember. So now we know our 2 and our 3 are minors. Our 4 and our 5 are majors. Our 6 is gonna go back to minor. So take that. And then our 7. We're not gonna talk about 7 just yet. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get to 7. And so we got G major. And what I did there, instead of having my pinky on, I took my pinky off. That makes it a minor 7. All right. Don't let terminology scare you. Okay. Just understand what it means. Let's start back. Okay. So that's what we're gonna do. Here's a little exercise. Let's go back down. Remember the half step. Going up again. Just get some good practice. All right. So that's the key of G. That was 1 through 6. We'll get to 7 here in a minute. So now that we know our chords on the E string, let's get our chords on the A string. Okay, so we're gonna go up another level. All right, now we're increasing our versatility. But listen, and these chords are gonna stay the same. We're just finding them in different places and giving them different shapes. Okay, all right, so a G is right here. That is a G note. And so if I bar from that D string down and have my root right there on that G, that's a major shape. Same thing. We can make this a minor shape. We're just changing the shape a little bit. Okay, so this is major. Now, what direction do we want to go to get to a minor? The 2 is just a whole step away. So let's go here. And what we're going to do, we're going to have to change our shape. So that's a minor shape. All right. And what I got here, I'm barring from the A string down on the 12th fret. And then I have my bird finger, my middle finger is on this B string of the 13th fret. My ring finger is going to cover right here on the D string of the 14th fret. And then my pinky is going to come right up under that string beneath. That's that A minor. And in order to make it a 7, I just take my pinky off. That way I can do stuff like that, right? Now what's going on is I'm running out of room. That's okay. We can find these chords in another place, in another space, and come back up here. And then, you know, we want to do some real estate. Okay, let's get our real estate. So I want you to think about this. So if we're going backwards from G, all right, because we went forward. We went. We'll get it. We went backward. I mean, we went forwards. Let's go backwards. So, should I teach y'all the 7 now? Should we wait? I'm gonna use a minor 7 flat 5. Sometimes that 7 is major, sometimes it's minor, but mostly it's gonna be a diminished, or in this case, a minor 7 flat 5, which is half diminished. Don't let any of that terminology scare you. Okay? Don't. It ain't gotta be that difficult. Just know that your 7 is a special chord. Sometimes it can be minor. Excuse me. Sometimes it can be minor. Sometimes it can be major. Sometimes it can be in between. But a lot of times you hear that. So coming from. So half step to my 7. Now I go to my 6. A minor shape. My 5, my 4, my 3. Y'all are familiar with that. Some of you cowboys are familiar with that. So here we got. That was sloppy. Start over. Then we start learning some other shapes. And so as the more we learn, the more versatile we become, and the more we can find where we need to be, no matter where we are, right? Because I got a G here. Some would say I got a G here if I put that root right. Right? I got a G here. If that ain't heavy enough, I can make it a little heavy. And so A minor, A. All right. What else we got? My D. There's a D here. There's a D there. There's a D there. Where's my B? My B. If I put a D in the bass. And don't forget my 7. Oh, and that 7 is movable. It's movable, and you move it in steps of minor thirds. So in 4 frets, between 4 frets. If you want to do the full diminished 7, then we can come here. See how it wants to resolve them? There's a lot of tricks we can do with the diminished chords, because they're used as like pass-bys, right? They're used as pass-bys and ways to get from one place to another place. So another thing that we can do, so if let's take our minor. I don't want to use my 3, I'm gonna use my 2. So my 2 is right here. Excuse me. And so let's say I were going. And I'm going between my 2 and my 3. I can do some things to fill up that space. What I can do is I can play a diminished. Now, here's one diminished. If you're doing roots on the heavy E string, a diminished shape can be a staircase going down. There's your diminished triad. Now I can't do it between the 3 and the 4 because there's only a half step in between. There's no in between. So this diminished chord is used to get you somewhere else, okay? Same way we kind of use sevens, or dominant sevens, rather, excuse me. So the 5, right? The 5. So in this case, D is usually a dominant 7. The 4 is usually a major 7. I'm gonna get it together, y'all. We got G. Let's make it plain major. Our 4. So all our majors is a dominant, a major 7. Our 5 is a dominant 7. It's a minor 7. 5, 6. So what our 5 is taking us somewhere. The dominant 7 takes us somewhere. So if I was trying to go, let's say I was on my 5 and I wanted to go to my 4, but I didn't want to go straight on. Let's say I did 5, and now I'm thinking of where's my home? If I'm saying 4 is my home, then what is the 5 of 4? That's a G7. And then, so listen at this. Did you get it? Oh man, this. And let's see, where else can we? So our 6 is where a lot of our scale is gonna come from, right? Our minor pentatonic scale or our major pentatonic scale in the key of G would be E minor pentatonic scale or G major pentatonic scale. And don't let that terminology confuse you. But basically what we're saying is if my 1 is G, my 6 is E. My 6 is where I get my notes from to play on top of my. So I'm playing my G major. I got a 6 right here. All that is key of G. Same scale. And you can play that in any way you want to, so it's right here too. And when you get, you can start mixing and doing the that's a very popular progression. It's kind of like the 6, the 5, you see how I use the 1 right there instead? So I use my 6. And instead of the 5 and the 4, I could use my 3 that is because those are the sixes to the ones. Oh, I'm not trying to confuse you. I'm not trying to confuse you. Anybody know what I'm talking about? So I'm gonna use all major. That's all major. So I did the 1. And then I'm doing 5, 4. So I'm doing my 1, then I'm hitting some licks. That's 5 to 4. I can make that same progression sound just a little different, add a little dynamic to it if I make them minors. So instead of the G, what's the 6 of G? E. And instead of the D, what's the 6 of D? B. And all of this is key of G. Instead of the 4, what is the 6 of C? A minor. So now instead of that, I can go here. You got it? And I can mix it up. I can go, that's minor.